Plexit and founder of Coalition Against Judicial Fraud, with a tour of places where people say that they are acting for justice, but I'm not interested in justice one bit. I'm now in front of New York University's School of Law. After all, there are thousands, I believe, of law professors and probably 5 times as many students. And it's very, very interesting to see what they're interested in, how they cover the issue of justice and judicial fraud, if at all. I have a very, very interesting experience and very good statistics that's quite revealing. During Judge Kavanaugh's nomination to the Supreme Court, a bunch of college professors signed a letter stating that he was unfit to be a judge. And one of the interesting things it said, it quoted the Congressional Research Service as saying that a proper judge should not be interested in the outcome, but only in the process. So seeing the signatures, and there were over 1,000 eventually, but I only managed to get email addresses of about 200 because it was very, very boring to try to Google them and find their emails and email to them, my rebuttal, basically saying that, you guys got to be kidding me. There is no due process. There is just judges creating totally bogus arguments out of their own heads so as to decide for their own argument and to decide the case the way they want to decide it. And out of those 200, only 3 replied. One reply was sharply negative from some professor saying, don't say such terrible things. So we know that that one doesn't count. And only 2 were actually interested in justice and replied in a somewhat more positive and more civil manner. So we know that only 1%, because 2 people out of 200 is only 1%, so only 1% of professors of law are actually interested in justice and in due process. The rest of them don't care. And most interestingly, the same goes for the students. Partially it's quite natural because students would, of course, repeat what the professors tell them. Professors are not interested in due process and in justice, and so students won't be. But I also have another experience right here at NYU, where a couple of times I attended a meeting of a club. I believe it is called the name of it now escapes me. Not the Confederate. No, I don't remember what that club name is, but they basically invited professors from all over the country to talk on a particular topic. And I've listened to that. I've listened to them explaining how judges decide particular cases that they were talking about. And I just laughed and I said to organizers of that club, come on guys, let me come and tell you how judging is really done. Don't you want to know how judges really decide the cases? And it turns out that no, they don't. It looks like they'd rather be indoctrinated that everything is nice and fair and honest and that there is a due process and not know what actually goes on in the courts. So my experience is that professors of law and students of law are not at all interested in justice. Not one bit.